Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2012 is gone. I miss it already. It was one of those iconic sounding years, you know, like 1984 or 1999, and now we're in 2013. It's like, who cares, you know, 2013. It just sounds lame. But anyway, last year, 2012, how did we do? Well, the world didn't blow up, but not for lack of trying. This year, pop music tried to set the world on fire, and what felt like weird little accidents in the pop charts in the years before are now full-on trends. Welcome to the new normal, everyone. I'm not sure I would say this was a good year for music, but it certainly was an interesting year, and a diverse one at that. It certainly feels a lot less ephemeral, let's say. Like, a lot of the top hits of 2010, they're already gone. Like, you listen to much Tayo Cruz or Mike Posner lately, you hear OMG or I Like It or Bedrock much? No, I didn't think so. Whereas this crop from 2012, even the ones I didn't like, I expect them to stick around a lot longer. But that doesn't mean I didn't find a lot of stupid crap to humiliate myself with either, and really, this ritual self-depantsing of mine is what I look forward to doing more than anything else every year. I'm ready. We're counting down! The top 10 best hit songs of 2012. Number 10. It's that T.O. double dizzle in the shizzle for rizzle. Giving up for that Snoop D.O. double jizzle. My nizzle. Am I allowed to say nizzle?
So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed.
I actually do have some vague memories as a kid of this criminally evil, super controversial gangster rapper named Snoop Dogg who endorsed killing cops and was on trial for murder. Somehow that man turned into the universally beloved icon and role model for all ages that we know today.
Hungry kids in the crib, ma. Pocket like it's hard, pocket like it's hard.
And if there were any song that defined Snoop Dogg's late period appeal in the 2010s, it would have to be Young, Wild, and Free, the long, unawaited team-up of Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, and Bruno Mars.
So what, we go out, that's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Yes, they get drunk, they smoke weed, they don't care what you think about it. The great thing about Snoop Dogg is that he doesn't have to flex, because he knows he's the coolest, chillest mofo in the game, and he doesn't have a damn thing to prove to you youngins and whippersnappers out there. He's a gangster, but y'all knew that. And how appropriate that Snoop Dogg's ode to underachieving should bring along two of pop music's biggest underachievers, Wiz Khalifa and Bruno Mars, and actually get them to produce quality work at that. Like, what the hell is this crap, Wiz? Work hard, play hard? No, damn it, you're doing it wrong. I'm sick of rappers telling me how hard they work. Just relax, take a hit, chill. And Bruno, this is everything the lazy song should have been. Take a lesson. More of this, much less of this.
Lounging on the couch, just chilling in my snuggie. Click to MTV so they can teach me how to Dougie.
Even more extraordinary than getting quality work out of Wiz and Bruno, Young, Wild, and Free appears to be a theme song to a movie which quite honestly I'm not sure even exists. I sure didn't see it ever playing in my local theater. Doesn't really sound like a great movie, to be honest. But this song makes such a good case for it, I kinda wanna see it anyway. Hope I don't regret saying that.
It's like I'm 17 again, peach fuzz on my face.
You know, Snoop Dogg really is not that young. I guess Wiz Khalifa would be young, Bruno Mars would be wild, and Snoop Dogg would be free. Or possibly I got that wrong. Whatever, works for me. Number 9. You know what, it's my top 10. I told myself I would always be honest, no matter how embarrassing it got, but I really cannot justify this.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious. Flo Rida, the least interesting man in the world. The man who hasn't written one lyric worth remembering in his whole life.
Yeah, that's the one.
And you expect people to take you seriously? No, you don't get to just brush this one off. I want to hear this.
Well, he's Okay. Well, first of all, Flo Rida's main gift has always been finding great hooks, and this is probably his best yet, and it samples a song that I really, really love. This is from a song called Piano in the Dark by Brenda Russell. It's about a woman who can't ever leave her lover because she's too impossibly attracted to him when he plays his piano under the cover of darkness. I don't know what it is. This song, it just speaks to me. I really like it.
And how did Flo Rida not ruin the sample with his lame attempts at being emotional?
Honestly, I guess you could call it the beneficiary of lowered expectations, but I actually appreciated Flo Rida's attempt to be emotional and talk about recent tragedies and personal hardships instead of, the bottles and models and stuff.
So what? Yeah, he was trying to be deep, but he masterfully failed at it.
Look, I just like the song, okay? I was just caught off guard by how happy it makes me when it comes on. I know it's not the smartest take on Dust Struggle, but unlike Jadakiss's Why, it's not trying to be. It's just an acknowledgement that life is hard and that he's grateful for all the luck he's had. I can't condemn him for that.
Can you condemn him for sucking?
No. Number 8. Hey y'all. Just a reminder, if you have photosensitive epilepsy, here's some advice for you during this next segment. Alright, good. Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go! You escape while I escape. You get grass, get fucked up.
Even though it's from two of the biggest stars in music, I still can't believe this got big. It has no chorus. It stops mid-verse for a Will Ferrell sample that basically is just riffing itself.
It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
There is no way this should have been a hit, but Jay-Z and Kanye got it on the charts just through sheer force of personality. This is a song about showing off more than anything. But I've already thoroughly discussed this one line by line, so instead, let me share with you a game I found on the internet.
Don't let me into my zone. Don't let me into my zone.
It's called Kanye Zone. And the object of the game is to prevent Kanye from getting in his zone. And just a reminder, you know what happens when you let Kanye in his zone? He impregnates Kim Kardashian. Yeah, so don't let Kanye in his zone. That is going to be one seriously screwed up child. Jay-Z's kid's going to be just fine, by the way. Number 7. For years, I've talked about what I call the fluke indie hit sweepstakes. Now that's where every year we had one unexpected indie rock-ish sounding single bust through and become a mega smash hit, uncomfortably sitting alongside Usher and Lady Gaga. Well, this year the sweepstakes busted wide open for everyone.
It started with the whisper.
And suddenly we were awash in all sorts of new strange acts like Fun and Gotye and the Lumineers, Philip Phillips, and past winners like Neon Trees and Owl City. These are not flukes anymore. This is officially mainstream. And seeing as I've already put Wiz Khalifa and Flo Rida on my list, I'd feel like kind of a jerk if I didn't include at least one of them in the top 10.
So this is what you meant when you said that you would spend.
Of the many post-Gotye alternative hits trying to elbow their way into becoming a crossover hit, this one was probably my favorite. Possibly because it was one of the few that didn't sound like it was trying to be either Mumford & Sons or MGMT. Of course, it did cause controversy by sounding like another big indie hit by Matt and Kim from 2008. I think I prefer this version, honestly. I don't know if this is a particularly great rock song, and It's Time to Begin and I'm Not Changing Who I Am strike me as honestly kind of stale ideas to build a song around, but It's Time just kept growing on me, and eventually it won me over because, damn, like, that guy just sells it.
How don't you understand that I'm never changing who I am?
He just has so much deep, passionate feelings about giving the commodities a rain check.
Giving the commodities a rain check. I don't ever wanna let you down. I don't ever wanna leave this town.
This, for the record, was not the only big, epic indie rock statement about time directing you forward on the path of life, but we'll get to that. One more thing to note, Imagine Dragons is apparently an anagram for the band's original name, but they've never revealed what that was. Many people have guessed at what the original name was, including Greasing Domain, Insomnia Dagger, and my personal favorite, Gonad Migraines, which is what I'm going to call them from now on. Good luck, Gonad Migraines. Looking for good things from you. Number 6. All hail your new music god! Not Lady Gaga, not Usher, not Katy Perry or Adele or Justin Bieber or Rihanna. Behold the new king of pop! This being the number 1 song of the year just absolutely makes no sense. Fact is, I might respect this song more than I like it. I mean, I do still like it a lot. I like how it draws a perfect picture of an ugly breakup and that it has the perceptiveness and intelligence to depict it from both sides, but more important than just being a really good song, I appreciate how it completely upended our understanding of popular music in this country. All this year, Gotye completely stymied top 40 programmers in how to deal with it. I heard so many crappy remix versions that try to add a hip-hop beat behind it, that add an extra chorus early on to make it sound more natural, basically just trying to make it more of a Katy Perry song, but doing so completely misses the appeal of the song, which is how unpop it is. I mean, you can turn it into a normal sounding song, but why would you want to? Yeah, no.
Somebody that you used to know.
Neither Gotye nor Kimbra seem to be able to get another hit, but I sincerely hope their legacy is not just this song. I don't want Gotye to just be successful. I want him to be influential. I mean, I like Adele as much as the next guy, but we don't need more than one of her. We could definitely use a few more Gotyes in the world, though. I mean, seriously, just one song from the guy? He's so talented. We can let him have another, right? You didn't have to cut him off. Number 5. Wait a minute. Hold on, let me check this here. There's no Katy Perry! Wow! Yes, for the first time ever since I started doing these videos, there is not a single Katy Perry song in my yearly top 10. And I could have too. She had plenty of hits this year, and yet not a one on this list. Oh, thank God. Katy Perry, your reign is over. I want you gone. Consider this a divorce. Okay, with that straightened out, back to the list.
I hear your heartbeat to the beat of the drums. Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young.
You know, I don't think it's a coincidence that Kesha waited for the Teenage Dream era to finish before she put out her second album. But you know what? I think deep down, I've been waiting for the opportunity to like Kesha. This was especially true of TikTok, her biggest and objectively probably her best hit, but every time I actually began to groove with it, I'd have to listen to her sing about brushing her teeth, and I'd just tune out. And yet I have no problem at all grooving to Die Young, even though it's still recognizably Kesha, the obnoxiously crude party girl.
Young punks taking shots, stripping down to dirty socks.
But it's better Kesha. Earlier Kesha was like nasty bathtub moonshine, and this is Kesha distilled and refined. If you like your Kesha undiluted, I imagine you won't have much use for this, but I prefer stuff that won't rot your gut.
It's pretty obvious that you got a crush. That magic in your pants, it's making me blush.
Yes, the woman who once demanded that you cut the chit chat and show her where your dick is at,
Just show me where your
now blushes bashfully at the very thought of it. Mostly though, the reason I put this on my list is I have a soft spot for morbid party songs. And this goes as much for Dead Man's Party as it does for simply desperate sounding tracks like DJ Got Us Falling in Love.
Like we're gonna die young. We're gonna die young.
As the chorus repeats, the possibility of dying young seems more like a certainty. At the very least, she's going home alone, and she honestly sounds kind of sad about it.
Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone.
See? She does have emotions. You know, besides being about to spew.
Let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young. Oh,
Number 4.
Hold on to me as we go.
I've talked some about the new trend towards beardy, acousticy guys, and I appreciate it, but I wouldn't exactly say I'm a huge fan. I mean, I'm listening to the Mumford & Sons wannabes, and you know, I appreciate realism and I appreciate earnestness, but all I can think is, whatever happened to indie rock that was just outright batshit pretentious?
some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw.
Yeah, you can keep your Bon Iver and your Abbott Brothers. This is what I want indie rock to sound like. I said fun, obviously really want to be Queen, right? Well, this is their Bohemian Rhapsody. Self-indulgent, ludicrous, and absolutely wonderful. The problem with We Are Young is that it ultimately felt too thin to back up its statements of setting the world on fire. Not here. When Kesha says she feels your heart beat to the beat of the drum, these are the kinds of drums she should be thinking of. Some Nights is just an elaborately orchestrated statement about... Honestly, I have no idea what it's about. What is this song about? What is this song about? When I first heard it, I thought it was about literally war. More likely it's about some 20-something's quarter-life crisis, but even if that's all it is, I respect the ability to turn Just Another Case of the Post-Grad Blues into this grand, all-encompassing survey of every emotion Nate Ruess has ever had in his life.
That's alright. I found a martyr in my bed tonight.
Mostly what I get out of this song is the ability to find hope and joy, even in the midst of deep existential confusion. And for that, it's the most joy I've gotten out of pop music in a long time. And I like that they wrote a song like this long before Nate Ruess had had any success at all with any of his bands. I mean, usually bands wait till they're big before they go all out like this. Fun didn't wait at all. What other band out right now would have the guts to use autotune basically as a guitar solo? Fun. Philosophers, poets, martyr-loving adventurers, completely high on their own narcissism. And so am I. So come on! Number 3. I think Bruno Mars needs to be on Zoloft or something. When he's sad, it's always like the worst screaming agony that ever existed. I like to imagine this song is taking place just over like a quiet breakfast or something, and they're just sitting there, and then he suddenly starts screaming! What I'm saying here is he's kind of a drama queen. I mean, I'm definitely preferring this to the Lazy song, and I've always thought he was a talented guy, but his tendency towards histrionics has always been a sticking point for me. I think where I'm going with this is that I like Bruno Mars only when his music isn't as over the top as he is. You know, it's easy to forget Once Upon a Time. I actually looked forward to hearing Bruno Mars' music, but this brought him back in my good graces in a big way. I mean, just listen to it. It's worth noting that Bruno Mars is still a complete and total ridiculous crybaby right down to the title. You see, sex is heaven, and not having sex is being locked out of heaven. you are damning him to hell by not boning him. And he sings it like that's exactly what he means.
You bring me to my knees, you make me testify.
But his overheated hysteria isn't accompanied with any symphonic musical agony here like in Grenade or It Will Rain. No, this is tight, crisp, and energetic. And yes, that's probably because it seems inspired by The Police. In fact, you could say it's a complete ripoff of The Police. In fact, many people have said that. But in response, I say, so what? It's not like we're gonna get any new music from The Police anytime soon. You wanna know what Sting's doing now?
Every little thing she does is magic. Everything she do just turn me on.
Yeah, that's the last thing he put out. Muzaki orchestra covers of his old music. That's what you're getting from Sting. So if we can get better stuff from Bruno Mars, I say we take it. You know, it's funny that Bruno Mars should rip off The Police, seeing he hasn't exactly had the best luck with The Police. Just saying. Number 2. Okay, I want to play you a little blast from the past here. This is from 1997. Okay, this is Show Me Love by Swedish pop singer Robin, and I remember this being a huge hit. Like, I wasn't even listening to pop music in 97, and it was everywhere, even though it's not really a great song or anything. And that's where this woman's career ended, I thought, but turns out she's continued to be a gigantic star in Europe to this day, making a number of critically acclaimed, just absolutely fantastic pop albums. And if you want proof that Euro, electronic dance pop can be just as good and as worthwhile, as emotionally evocative as any other genre, Robin would be a good place to start. Of course, in this country, she remains basically known for that one song, and though I enjoy me some Katy Perry and some Kesha, I wish we had more stuff like Robin, and if we did, I think pop music would have a much better reputation. But as genre-blending indie pop like Robin and Lickly and Annie gets more popular over there, it can't help but trickle over to us, especially now that we're importing so much music from the UK. I guess where I'm going with this is that I stand by my statement that British pop at its worst is much worse than American pop, but in a lot of respects it's also a whole lot better.
You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine me when I'm alone, and so I
Ellie Goulding is yet another one of the British indie folk artists that Americans know nothing about, and yet who slowly clawed her way to the top of the charts with this one unlikely sleeper hit, Lights. Guys, I just freaking love this song just so much. I mean, this is a damn masterpiece.
voices I play within my head.
You almost never hear a song with as much control over its atmosphere and mood like this song. It is just remarkable. But what about the subject matter?
'Cause they're calling me home.
Lights calling me home? What do the lights represent here? I can only conclude, aliens!
And I'm not sleeping now.
This is a deeply haunted song about being called home by either ghosts or aliens, or possibly alien ghosts. I get some serious Close Encounters vibes coming off of this. Lights have never seemed so portentous.
You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine.
And now, before the number 1, some honorable mentions and guilty pleasures that just missed getting on the list. Two of the most perpetually virginal artists to ever score a number 1 single team up and pull out an unexpected second hit, an ode to partying that's practically the anti-Young, Wild and Free. It's the most innocent song about fun ever written, and yet I can't help but like it, especially Carly Rae, who turns out is actually a pretty good singer.
Let's hang out if you're down to get down tonight.
By the way, I love how the Owl City guy says they don't even have to try, while trying desperately to make his second grader voice emote. The reason it didn't make it on the list?
Woke up on the right side of the bed. What
What's up with this Prince song inside my head?
Oh dear God, do you not have the right to invoke Prince? Which Prince song do you think you're talking about here? This one?
Your brain, pussy control. You ready?
Yeah, no.
The sun goes down, the stars come out.
I honestly kind of admire this song, even though it's amazingly dumb. It's clever about it though. I mean, I like how every line in the bridge begins with the last word of the last line.
Turn the lights out now. Now I'll take you by the hand. Hand you another drink. Drink it if you can.
And also, fell on me, spell on me, well on me. Those are all great rhymes, and it finishes off with a great, stupid, shameless double entendre.
I'm glad you came.
Tell you what, at least they don't do the One Direction thing of seduction through vague, insincere flattery.
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party.
This song is hilarious, and I will hear no word from anyone who disagrees.
Kiss my ass. You can't catch me, boy. I'm overseas at about 100 G for show.
Another giant guilty pleasure for me. Like I Cry, I appreciate that Pitbull isn't bragging exactly so much as he just sounds grateful about all the amazing things there are in the world and how many he's been lucky enough to see.
I don't play football, but I've touched down everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
But as always, dragging it down is one useless waste of space, name a Chris Brown. Again, that's not a personal judgment, it's just based on the music. His chorus is weak, it only mentions American cities, which is downright stupid, and Chris Brown isn't a very good singer. Next. Ooh, dangerously close to so bad it's good territory for me. I think ultimately too much of it was just normal bad instead of weird bad for me to give it the full endorsement. And yes, I do realize that this isn't all that dissimilar from my pick for the worst song of the year. Still, I'd rather be on the side of defending this than attacking it. There were just too many utterly bizarre moments in it that just blew my mind.
And bust his pussy open in the islands of Waikiki.
Let the sky fall when it crumbles.
Boy, this is the best James Bond theme in a while, isn't it? Wow, this really deserved to be on the list, right? Gosh, wouldn't I look much less stupid if I put this on the list instead of Flo Rida? Okay, fine, it grew on me. Shut up. And with that out of the way, let's get to it. Number 1. As a pop nerd and amateur historian, there's nothing I enjoy more than being able to connect the trends of today to the music of the past. And my number 1 pick for this year has a very direct, if complicated, lineage, and I'm going to walk you through it here. So, first, I need you to introduce you to 3 people. This is Brooke Benton, an early R&B singer who recorded from the early 50s through the 70s.
Question is that jazz?
This is Gil Scott-Heron, late 60s and 70s spoken word and jazz poet whose work was one of the progenitors of rap music. And this is Jamie XX, a British beatmaker, producer, and remix artist. As a songwriter, Brooke Benton had one of his compositions become a minor hit in 1960, and then it became an accepted blues standard covered numerous times by various artists. One of them was Gil Scott-Heron, who recorded his own version in 2010, a year before his death. In 2011, Jamie XX completely reworked and remixed the Gil Scott-Heron version into something completely new. And that's the backstory, that's the rest of the story of this song. It's called I'll Take Care of You, originally recorded in 1959, covered by Gil Scott-Heron in 2010, remixed by Jamie XX in 2011, and finally sampled and transformed again by Drake and Rihanna in 2012.
Know you've been hurt by someone else. I could tell by the way you carry yourself.
As an artist, Drake always struck me as good without ever being particularly great, but this year he hit the charts with one of the most breathtakingly amazing pop songs that's ever existed.
They won't get you like I will. My only wish is I die real, cause that truth hurts and those lies heal, and you can't sleep thinking that he lies still.
Take Care is astonishingly good, almost too good for the pop charts, and certainly too good for Drake or Rihanna. I've never seen so much love, frustration, and anger tied up together so well. Drake promises to rescue her and that he doesn't care about her bad reputation, and yet he's let disappointment and resentment and defensiveness creep into his grand statements of love. It's really deep, guys.
It's my birthday, I get high if I want to. Can't deny that I want you, but I lie if I have to.
He's clearly been pushing and pushing and he's gotten nowhere, and he just can't take it anymore. And while Drake is great on this, Rihanna is better than she has been in years, sounding tired, resigned, burnt by love, too brought down by reality to believe Drake's promises.
I've loved and I've lost.
I'm almost embarrassed to talk about this song. I like it so much. This song is stone perfect. Everything about this just comes together. It is the best pop song of the year. That's my number one. I'm Todd in the Shadows, and I'm out. Take care.